Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Artist Alchemy. Got a little different setup for you today. Our dear friend Marcela Hernandez Castillo, who was scheduled to be our special guest today, had a conflict, and Marcela's a great friend, and we're going to reschedule and get him on here in the not too distant future. So instead of Marcelo, we're going to tell you all about the great things coming your way here in Yuba Sutter, both Yuba Sutter Arts and Culture events as well as other organizations. So, my colleague Shawntay Arroyo, our Director of Arts and Education, as well as social media, and Alex Cecina, who many of you know. He's no stranger to the stages here in Yuba Sutter and is live with us this evening from Boston, as he often is. Usually he's behind the scenes, but we've brought him out.
That's
Put him
right.
front and center.
It's dark outside. If you can see, there's
Oh my gosh, look at that. East Coast time.
East Coast.
So we've got a full agenda of projects and programs to talk to you about, and I think you'll find it quite interesting. Of course, you can always follow up with us after this. You take notes if you wish. It's a lot of information to absorb, but sit back, relax, and we'll try to keep it entertaining and informative. I think first up, we want to just mention chronologically that tomorrow evening, Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock, we're having the second in what we're calling our conversation series. This is where we get a group of community leaders together who are centered on a common theme, in this case, art and culture. Bring them together with a moderator and go through a series of questions to really explore and probe the depths of these topics. Last month, it was women's issues, kind of built around the centenary of the passage of the 19th Amendment 100 years ago. This year, we've got 8 remarkable local art and culture leaders coming together to talk about what that means in the context of Yuba Sutter, sort of looking at what exists today through their various organizations, as well as others. We certainly don't pretend to have covered every art and culture group in town, but we've covered some really great folks. So we'll be welcoming Candace Young Fresquez from the Bacchae Parade Committee and Festival, Chris Pedigo, who's part of the Mary Aaron Board of Supervisors and a newly appointed member of the Yuba County Historic Resources Commission, Foster McManus, of course, actor, director, and part of the acting company team, James Oxner, who's the head of library services for Sutter County, Jessica Haugen, curator and general manager of the Sutter County Museum, Susan Miller, co-president of the Sutter Performing Arts Association, who are rebuilding the Sutter Theater on Plymouth Street, Tanya Mack, who's a head grant writer at the Yuba Community College District, and also co-founder of a new group called The Village, and then Vera Correa, who's a board member of the Alliance for Hispanic Advancement. So don't miss it. Tune in if you can live from 6 to 7:30 Wednesday evening, right here live on Yuba Sutter Arts Facebook page. If you miss it, if it's an inconvenient time for you, you can always catch it later on Facebook or at our YouTube channel, which is really becoming an amazing treasure trove of all these archived programs. So you can kind of do some research there. But look it up, see it somehow, and find out what's going on in the community. Let me turn it over to Shawntay. She had a busy week last week, a couple of neat projects. And Shawntay, tell us what you've been doing.
Sure. So the first thing that wrapped here was, last week, the Paint the Buttes art competition through the Sutter County Sheriff's Office wrapped up on Wednesday. We had the winners come for a photo op. So the whole program was, Sheriff Barnes reached out to us. What was it, in August, David? Or even, in early August. And he wanted to do some sort of art competition because he wanted to have some artwork put up in the office. So he reached out and asked us if we could help him out with that. And so we put together this art competition. The kids had to paint the buttes. So there was 2 age groups, high schoolers and middle schoolers, 6th through 8th grade. We had 4 winners in the high school range and 3 in the middle school range. And they came by, they got their prizes. This is the first place winner for the high schoolers and the middle schoolers there. So overall, really successful. We had quite a few entries as well.
Beautiful
Now-
work. It was
Yeah.
just incredible work.
Yeah. Didn't you say that the high school winner had actually never painted before?
That's right. She never had done anything paint to canvas before. This was her first time. So it was really great to see all these different these young artists that have so much skill and that are right here in our community.
Isn't that interesting that something like that, for whatever reason, sparked that interest? Family went by, picked up the canvas. The sheriff's office provided the canvases, and this beautiful piece becomes a whole new area of interest for this student. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think.
it was. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think it's so. I think that's so much a testament to like why it's so important just to keep these events going, because somebody, or just art in general, just because somebody doesn't know that they want to do something or like something until the opportunity is presented, right? And
Yeah.
so like the fact that this opportunity was presented and that it was taken up, and then to discover a talent in such a way and to like be like verified and just like feel so good about your work to be presented with first place after that. It's so cool to like think about that.
And it's kind of out of the
Yeah.
box. The whole idea of the sheriff's office reaching out and doing something like this as part of their community engagement program is just, it's just fantastic. In fact, we've known Sheriff Barnes. He's helped us with fundraisers when we do our citizen artist program, where non-artists come together and create works of art, and then we auction them off. And Sheriff Barnes has been part of that. So we so appreciate the collaboration and being able to return the favor, so to speak.
Absolutely. And I one more thing before we move on. I really think it was a stroke of genius for them to provide the canvas, because it made this contest a lot more accessible to the kids. It's canvas. It can be cheap, but it's still an expense that maybe a lot of people don't have in their budget. So I thought it was really great that they opted to do that.
What did the winners win?
The winners won a $10 gift card to Sawyer's Sweet Spot that was provided by YubaSutterArts&Culture, as well as art sets with all sorts of all sorts of different mediums available.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh,
Beautiful.
may they continue to create.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully
Let's
it sparks something.
So the other thing that wrapped, and this was earlier this month, was the YubaSutterArts&Culture Murals Crawl. So the whole point of this Murals Crawl was to really give some priority to the Cover It utility box murals that we have all over Yuba City, and of course in Marysville as well, just so that people could go and enjoy them. We provided a list to everyone, both online and in the form of a postcard that we sent out. And people were able to participate by just taking a selfie with one of these, or all of them if they wanted. We had actually one person take a photo with every single one of them, including the one that is no longer there by the Yuba City High School.
Oh, the honkers that got
that's right.
into. We're supposed to repaint it, but we're waiting for the go-ahead from the city.
Right. So it was a really successful event. I know quite a few people said that the smoke deterred them that final week, so they didn't get to participate. But hopefully this is something we can do again next year.
All around engagement. And this, Shawntay, this was your idea. You came up with this as a way for, people like the utility box murals, but what else can we do with it? So you created this program and people really took an interest. So we're very pleased with the results. So boy, it's like, what do we do for an encore, right?
Right.
We're our own
We'll
hard
see.
act to follow, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a great like idea. Everyone loves taking selfies and whatnot. And I mean, to next time, well, hopefully there'll be even more for people to like find and like.
Oh, I have ideas.
Oh, see? Oh,
I have ideas.
We're not going to give it away then. Shoot. I didn't realize that there was already ideas brewing. Shoot.
Yeah, I mean, we had quite a few ideas, but with COVID-19, it was maybe a little bit harder. We were still trying to find our legs with everything going virtual. So next year I have some great plans in store for this. So
well, we'll keep the home flames burning here until we're ready. So
very excited.
Absolutely
exciting stuff. Speaking of virtual events,
I
want to talk about we have a casting call out for 7 to 14-year-olds with or without any kind of acting or musical theater experience, to be part of a virtual musical called Super Happy Awesome News. This actually was brought to our attention by my son, who's a music teacher in Washington, D.C. He had seen this. He's got his classes working on a production. So we're kind of doing not a competition, but an East Coast, West Coast, bilateral program here around this musical. Any of you out there watching, if you have a minute, take a look just online on YouTube. There are a couple of productions that are up on YouTube of this musical that was written just this year during the pandemic for just this purpose, getting young people engaged in a theatrical experience. And as I said earlier, there's no experience necessary. There's 20 parts. We'll double cast if we need to get everybody involved. I mean, whatever it takes. It's just a beautiful little piece. These kids are kind of competing to have, the best, happiest news stories. And then we string it all together, and there's a grand finale, and it's just some really, really good music. So hats off to the creators of this piece. So please, anybody in your universe that you know between the ages of 7 and 14, get a hold of us at YubaSutterArts. We've got the director, as some of you may know, Alex Mazarol, who grew up here in Yuba Sutter and was on a lot of. Did you do shows with her, Alex?
Yeah, well, okay. So here's the full story about
Alex, Mr. Alex and Ms. Alex. So yeah.
Yes. So we actually went to the same daycare together way back in the day before like I was performing or anything. And she was Alex and I was Alex, and that just didn't fly that there were two Alexes. So I became Mr. Alex and she became Mrs. Alex, and it stuck. Whenever we saw each other for years after, we did shows together. We ended up doing a whole bunch of different stuff. But she was always, "Oh, hi, Mrs. Alex. Oh, Mr. Alex, how are you doing?" And so it's been lots of fun. We did shows as kids together, and then we both have done the YubaSutter pageant competition. Different years. I was the one and only teen ambassador for YubaSutter. But then I believe, and don't quote me on this, I'm like 85% sure, but I think Alex Mazarol won Miss YubaSutter at one point. Okay. So she's a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, she has great stage presence. A wonderful person and just all around fun. So
I first saw her on stage years ago when she did. She was still part of the Ride Out Healthy Kids ensemble, a troupe that would go around doing performances for schools about healthy behaviors, healthy eating habits. I mean, really a dynamic show. In fact, they performed at my first, at our first Harvest the Arts out at John Hyer's farm. They did, and Paul was there running the show, and Larry Badger doing sound. It was beautiful. And she just this year, then we got reacquainted because Abby hired her to come out and do the H2O Go with the Flow video that has been so popular. So she, got up and running in that part in like 2 days and just nailed it in the video. So that's a beautiful piece. So
yeah,
we're excited to have her directing these young people. She's really happy to be involved in this project. So again, please spread the word.
Amazing.
Let's get some young people involved. This is something they can do safely. And work it in with their school schedule and have a little fun doing some theater.
Yeah, that's what I want to toss that out for anyone real quick. I've looked through the script and seen the show. It's very manageable. It's not like a huge burden. I know a lot of people when they think, "Oh my gosh, I'm about to put my kid into a show," you're thinking long hours, long rehearsals. Everything is very self-contained. It's very manageable. And like if your kid is missing that theater moment, this is definitely that chance to get involved in that again.
Absolutely. And again, we say casting call, but it's all very, very gentle. Everybody will get involved. If you have any interest, get in touch with us. 742-2787. I feel like I'm on public radio or something.
Hey,
742-2787.
This is NPR. Yeah.
Thanks for indulging me. Hey, what about wineries and ivories? What the heck is that?
I'm all about the wineries.
Yeah.
Right.
And the ivories, actually, yeah.
this is sort of, I think, a perfect storm of one, supporting local businesses, two, using this virtual medium that we're all so enmeshed in, like it or not, and three, working with a favorite pianist of ours here in town, Greg Johnson, contemporary jazz piano, and just engaging with a community of people that might like to taste a little wine. This sounds a little odd. How do you do a virtual wine tasting? Well, and the idea came because Abby and I had done a couple of these with a local Sacramento or sugar mill based winery, and then also with a group of South American wineries. And I'm telling you what, it works and it's really fun. In this case, so you sign up, you register. We, YubaSutter Arts, will deliver your 3 bottles of wine to your home or office, wherever you want it delivered. So you'll have those in advance of the tasting. You can have as many people share your bottles of wine as you like. But Greg Johnson will play some opening music and introduce the program. First winery will come on. The winemakers will take you through the nuances of their particular vintage. We've got appetizer cards that we'll be sending out with the wine if you want to do some pairings of food with your wines. And it's just a plan for a really fun event. In between each tasting, you'll have a little bit of time. Greg will play some more music. You can enjoy the rest of that wine if you like, and then we'll move on to the next winemaker. So, it's sort of a little bit of edutainment. I mean, not too heavy on the education, but a little bit more about what it takes these very hardworking folks that run the Cordy Winery, the Munger Family Vineyard, and Sicilia Vineyards, and what they've devoted to getting these wineries up and running right here in Sutter County. So we're very pleased with our partnership with all 3 of them, and appreciate their buying into this crazy idea. And we're going to go for it. So again, go, Shawntay.
Yeah, I was going to say also, it's 20 spaces, so I think it's going to be a very intimate event. Also, it's not dozens of people, so it's going to be just the 20, and then of course the music and the winemakers, and I think that it really gives ample opportunity for everyone to interact and engage with everything.
No, for sure. In fact, that's a great point. It's not going to be your screen is filled with hundreds of people. So yeah, just 20 others. And in our case, the couple that we've done, we put it up on, plug the computer into the TV if you can, HDMI cable, and show it on the big screen. And it's just really fun. So try it. If you're a wine yes and not a wino, then this is the event for you. So sorry, I'm beating that to death.
Running with
Love it.
Phrase of the week. So thanks for indulging me. What else? What else is coming up?
Oh gosh, so much.
I look at, for those of you out there in virtual land, we put out these postcards, which if you all, sorry, I'll quit moving here. If you should have gotten the October card, which is just filled with stuff that we're doing. If anybody watching does not receive the postcard, of course, we do all the stuff on Facebook and the website. But if you like a piece of paper, we're happy to mail you a postcard about coming events, and just let us know, and we'll get you on the mailing list. So, Music Educator Showcase.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this one. What's this about?
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No.
Well, the whole idea came from, we work with a lot of arts educators, including music educators, both in the public schools as well as private music teachers, like Greg Johnson, who has a whole group of students he works with. Galvin, of course, is hosting this. She's got a whole stable of piano, mostly I think, and also some voice students. And we said, gee, wouldn't it be fun to hear the music teachers do their thing? Now, there's somebody out there, and they're talented folks, but I know Gay has performed a lot at the Burroughs Theater. So this was, kind of her idea, and she cooked it up, and we said, what a great thing to do. So here students will have a chance to kind of hear what hear their teachers' chops, I think. So we're really excited. So we've got, I think, 6 or 7 signed up already. Probably have room for a couple of more. So any music educators out there that would like to be part of this, just doing 1 or 2 numbers. It's not like a full concert performance, so relatively low intensity. And we just love to have you be part of it, to showcase what our music teachers do and know and love every day when they're working with their students. So sign up, please, and be part of it. August.
That's so exciting.
It's October 18th, 3 p.m. live on YubaSutterArts Facebook.
Yeah, that's cool.
Love it.
I was gonna say, I think I always just kind of took for like, I just kind of thought, oh yeah, they must know what they're doing. They're my teacher, but I never actually heard my music educators like play or do things that, like they obviously taught me how to do certain things, but I don't think I ever like saw them perform or anything like that. So this would be really cool.
That's funny. Yeah. No, that's a great point. So I think it'll be wonderful.
I think it'll be interesting for their students to see them perform as well. Like Alex is saying, I think any students out there that have a music teacher, let them know about this, because I think it's interesting flipping that. You know, now they're the audience.
That's right.
Yeah.
Critique their work.
Exactly.
Alex, tell us about Slightly Batty.
Oh, well, what can I say? No, Slightly Batty. It's going to be so much fun. It's spooky. It's not spooky. I'm going to use the word spoopy. Cuz it's fun.
Oh, spoofy. Oh, that's
spoopy. Spoopy. Yeah, it's kind of spooky but fun.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to run with that. But anyway, it's just going to be a good time. We have quite the cast lined up, myself included, but Brian Baggett, Carmen Smith, Gay Galvin, Georgia Ray Curtis, Janet Fry, Matt Demerit, Tom Galvin. The whole crew is coming out for this one. It's kind of like our test run a little bit to see if applause for the holidays will work, because everyone loves that show so much. We don't want to disappoint. So this is kind of like a big, hey, if you are interested in the applause series still, this is our new venue in the virtual world to do that. So we got all sorts of different songs going on there. I know I think Brian and Georgia are going to do Ghostbusters together. Which is fun, a little homage to both the original Ghostbusters and the newer one with the all-female cast.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. I'm going to do a version of Thriller from Postmodern Jukebox. So it's kind of old and got a 20s feel to it. So that should be fun. Tom's doing an original song, which always love to hear original stuff. Wow. Things are being created every single day. And so it's cool to have it's nice to have a venue for him to perform that now. And I know Janet Fry is doing Rhiannon. So obviously it's a great cast, great list of songs. So if you're available on October 23rd, right before Halloween, just hit us up and it'll be a fun show.
It's a little bit of a fundraiser. We've kept the prices at $10. I think you'll be more than, entertained for your money, and helps us out a little bit. As you know, our theater events and art sales have been, at zero since March. So we haven't asked for much, but this would help a little bit. So if you can sign up, sign on, and share the love a little bit, we'd sure appreciate it. Alex, before I forget, tell us the Rhiannon's backstory again, because I didn't know this until you mentioned it. Why Rhiannon in a Slightly Batty context?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but it's actually about a witch. If you listen to the lyrics, Stevie Nicks actually announced that a lot before they performed it live.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's actually about a witch. And if you've seen American Horror Story Coven, you know that she performed it on there. Yeah. So Stevie Nicks was on there twice actually. So she's the White Witch.
I'm gonna pull out my Fleetwood Mac vinyl later and check it out.
Yes, do it. It's a mood.
Yes, it's a mood. So it's got lots of songs, not necessarily like scary, but like in the theme and vein of All Hallows Eve.
Fabulous idea.
Love it.
For cooking that up. Yeah. Wonderful. Gee, is that it for October?
No.
No way.
Not at all.
I think YubaSutterArts&Culture is finally latched onto this virtual platform. We are moving and grooving here now.
That we are.
There's no rest for the wicked, or at least not our staff. So.
At least not in October.
Tales from the Terror Tellers. Oh my.
Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears.
Who takes credit for coming up with this idea? We kind of compete for coming up with new ideas and exhaust each other with the possibilities. And
I don't think that one was me. I know I did the name,
I
Yeah,
think this may have been Abby.
was this? I think this was Abby. Yeah, Abby,
Yeah.
jump on here and take credit. So this is a fun evening, free evening, where a number of us, yours truly included, are going to read something with kind of a Halloween theme. So I'm going to read, maybe with a partner, maybe my brother. There's 3 different sections of Macbeth where the witches appear. So we're going to kind of do a mashup of just we're not going to do Macbeth and Banquo and all of that, but we'll have just some of those great lines from Macbeth. So we're going to read that. Others are reading other scary stories and.
Yeah, you just said the M word so many times. I think
Oh,
my
I'm
theater
sorry.
heart, no, it's okay. My theater heart went a flutter. Just
the Scottish play. Sorry. Is there an antidote for that?
Well, yes, you have to run around the theater 3 times
Wow.
and then ask to be let back in.
I'm so ashamed. I know this computer's going to melt on my desk. I'm certain of it. Yes, the Scottish play. We'll do a little bit of that, and then thanks for catching me there, Alex. Oh, but I think we've got 7 or 8 readers. It'll be just really fun and entertaining. Are you reading, Shawntay?
I am. I'm reading 2 poems.
So you're reading.
I am.
And Andrea Dunbar, who used to do the storytellers in town and portrays La Llorona at different Dia de los Muertos events. She's going to be reading a couple of pieces. So we've just got a great cast that'll come out and just read and sit back by the fire with your pipe and slippers and cognac or whatever you do. Hopefully it'll be cool enough to give us a little seasonal flavor.
Yeah.
Should be fun. I'm a great fan of spoken word anyway. And in fact, speaking of Halloween, one of my, not necessarily, but one of my favorite albums of spoken word is Basil Rathbone.
Yes.
Back in the day. There's some issues with Basil, but he reads a hell of a Raven. When he does the Raven by Poe, it's like, wow, that's how it's supposed to be. So anyway, we're not going to do that. I thought about doing the Raven, but it's really long.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
I think we limited folks to 750 words or something. So
yeah, there was
longer pieces and some shorter pieces.
There was this one that I wanted to do. I can't remember who it's by now, but it's actually called Halloween, and it's a Scottish author. It was so long though. It was an epic. It wasn't just a poem, but it was the way it was written. It was actually intended to be spoken, and it's written in Scottish dialect. Yeah. So it doesn't read like real English, but
that would be tough.
If you sound it out, it makes words.
Words matter.
Words matter. So, but yeah, I wanted to do that one, but I can't do a Scottish accent well enough. I sound like Shrek.
You're doing all right.
Little Liverpool as well.
Little
Liverpool.
Yeah, I can't. No, it would take some work.
I know they have dialect coaches for that.
They do. There's actually a fun website called IDEA, the International Database of English Accents.
Oh, really? There's so many, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they just tell you different accents from around the world.
It's always amazing. Our screens and stages are filled with so many international actors, and for the most part, you'd never know. Every once in a while, you hear a slip, and you go, "Oh, I can tell you're a Brit."
Yeah, but just
or whatever. Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
That was me with Christian Bale.
Oh,
I had no idea.
Yep.
No clue.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
All these people. Listen to us read some, scary stories here.
Yeah.
It should be fun. October 30th at 7 p.m. right here live on YubaSutterArts Facebook page. What else? That kind of continues the spoken word theme. And, we don't talk about this often enough, but Tom Galvin, who we've mentioned, a great singer-songwriter and poet and social activist, he hosts a monthly songwriters workshop as well as a spoken word open mic. So this month in October, he'll be doing the open mic poetry spoken word October 1st, 6:30, again online. Now that's a Zoom call, so you just have to look for either look in the paper or look at YubaSutterArts website to find the Zoom login. It's free. jump in, listen if you like, share a poem or piece of prose if you'd like. Just be part of it. It's a lot of fun, and Tom does a great job. A very supportive environment. This isn't the hardcore critique for your doctoral thesis. So it's a fun time. So, and then at the end of each month, Tom's doing a songwriter workshop. In this case, it's October 24th, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Again, just find the Zoom login. And if you're at all interested in songwriting, and the two kind of go hand in hand, they're different, as Tom's explained it, but certainly if you're interested in writing poetry and you're a musician, you might want to blend those two talents and do a little songwriting. Tom's amazing because every other week or so he cranks out a new song for our Art Radio Today show. He takes kind of weird, funny art stories, art news events, and weaves them together and writes a song. And they're just little gems. So whatever it is that it takes to do that, he's got it and does it consistently over and over again. So learn from a master. You can't beat the price, and Tom's a very talented guy, and we're happy to have him as part of the art family here in Yuba Sutter. More poetry. We've got poetry, just coming and going here. Diane Funston in the top left corner there is the current artist in residence, poet in residence for Yuba Sutter Arts, and amazing, talented woman who writes very, very touching poems, but also she's got a very dry sense of humor, and she can, bite a little bit and have fun, and she's just fascinating. Well, she's got a network of poets around the country that'll just knock your socks off. So we had our first one last month. It's called Poetry Square. Diane Funston MCs, reads some of her pieces, and then has her friends share the hour, sharing some of their poetry. So another great event. That just log into just no login required. Just jump on Yuba Sutter Arts Facebook page and meet Diane if you don't know her already, and enjoy the guests that she brings in.
Yeah.
So lots of poetry, lots of good stuff going on. Artist Alchemy, what's that? Oh, that's what, yeah. Wow. This is a trick slide. Yeah, this is our, when we had to go virtual, it sounds like you're going underground or something. When we realized that, life was different now,
yeah,
it didn't take long, we said, okay, how do we stay relevant? What do we do here? We can't do anything in the theater. We can't do anything in the art gallery or the courtyard. And we said, how about, let's do some kind of weekly interview program. So I was voluntold that I got to help do this. Thank goodness I've got help with Alex and Shawntay, guest hosting, and so taking some of the burden. But this is another one of those things. You do it every week. I'll tell you what, it gives you a much greater appreciation for folks that are professional interviewers. And some of you may know Terry Gross on NPR, or anybody else, any of the news folks that interview individuals. If you do it right, you got to prepare, and it's easier when you know somebody. But even when you know somebody, you try to put together kind of an outline of areas you want to cover, and it's been a fascinating experience. It's been good for me personally. I hope people enjoy it, and fascinating people that we get to talk with and kind of dig a little deeper into their creative process. So we love doing it. It's every Tuesday right here, Facebook on Yuba Sutter Arts at 4 p.m. So again, these are all available on an ongoing basis on Facebook and also at the Yuba Sutter Arts YouTube channel. So I recognize the logo.
Art Radio.
Radio Today. Hey, that was a quiz. We used to, the name comes from back in the day, pre-COVID. We actually did a live radio show with our friends at 93Q, and COVID kind of shut things down, and they've kind of reformatted a bit. So we said, gee, maybe we just keep the name and we'll do a virtual thing, and maybe just every other Sunday. So it's Sunday at 4 o'clock. We host Art Radio Today, and we host, meaning typically it's me, Tom Galvin again, and also Joe Moy. And of course, lots of you know Joe Moy, actor, musician, educator, just a great guy. We have a lot of fun. Shawntay's been guest hosting. We bring in special guests and talk about what they're doing. Cameo was on with us last Sunday. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back on again. Our next guest will be, this is October 11th, Russ Zullo. Now, Russ is not a household name yet here in town, but he will be, he should be. Russ Zullo is the gentleman who bought the Tea Garden House last year.
Oh.
And Russ, we got acquainted with Russ because he very kindly allowed us to use the Tea Garden House for our recent Womanicans event. As again, a lot of you may know, we did a huge pop-up art project where individuals, artists, non-artists, organizations decorated these torso half-shell mannequins that we had, and we gave them out to the community, and they came back to us, and the variety of artwork was just stunning. And this was all part of our celebration of the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. So Russ Zullo gave us kind of free reign of the front yard and the steps up to the front door. And the Tea Garden House was the perfect setting because it's been there for, I think, 150 years. So we had this period backdrop, and people came in costume, and we had speakers, and Diane Funston read poetry, and we did a video about this. So I think it's up on our website. You can go see a 3-minute Womanicans event video. So Russ has become a dear friend and very generous man. He's doing, I think we'll talk about it a little bit more here in a minute, but he, in case we don't get to have time for it, Tea Garden House is doing a haunted house series of events over the Halloween holiday. So at October 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st, that last 2 weekends of October. So go out and support Tea Garden House. Russ hasn't been able to do any weddings or parties or corporate events. He's got actors from the acting company helping out, doing the scary stuff, 3 different levels, top floor, main floor, and then also that basement where spooky stuff used to go on. So get out to the Tea Garden House haunted house event. It'll be a lot of fun. Art Radio Today, and we touched on applause for Christmas a little bit. And Alex, we're just kind of in wait and see mode.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the more response we have for this Slightly Batty show, the more likely you are to do the Applause Christmas series. Just because, it is a favorite. Everyone, it's kind of like becoming yearly tradition at this point, And so I'd hate to see it disappear. So rather than say, oh, can't do it, we got a virtual platform, let's use it. So
I know there was a preliminary planning meeting the other day with Abby Cecina and Janet Fry and Linda Plummer. So it's cooking out there. So we're hoping that we can draw enough attention to these virtual events and, charge a modest fee and like you said, keep that tradition alive. So support the arts even during this virtual time. So we'll be there on the other side when we come out and we can reopen our theater.
That's
exactly.
All right, enough about me. Shawntay, talk about some arts and education stuff.
Hey.
Sure. Yay, I know. So obviously this year has come with its own set of challenges. And we still have 2 of our main arts and education programs happening, which is Poetry Out Loud and Scholastic Art and Writing. Now, we're still trying to figure out logistics of exactly how this is all going to work. But to tell you a little bit about each of them, Poetry Out Loud is a national arts education program that encourages the study of poetry by having a recitation competition for high school students all across the country. And Poetry Out Loud is in partnership with the National Endowment of the Arts, as well as the Poetry Foundation, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so we're still, this is going to be a virtual thing, of course, but we are still trying to figure out exactly how this is all going to look so that we can start giving details to everyone. And with Scholastic Art and Writing, most of you may already know of it, but this is for grades 7 through 12, if I'm correct, David.
Poetry Out Loud is 9 through 12.
Oh, no, Scholastic Art and Writing.
Sorry, you jumped to Scholastic. Excuse me, yeah. I blinked and I missed it. Yes, you're correct. 7 to 12.
7 through 12. Gotcha. And this is also a national program. It's students can submit visual art and writing to Scholastic Awards. And if they are recognized, they move on to the state level, correct? So it starts at regional level and then moves on to state level. And they can even move on to national level. And so the whole point of this is just to give students a way to showcase their work. This is in collaboration with the Sutter County Museum, with the curator and director there, Jessica Haugen. So, it's a work in progress right now with all of this, but hopefully we'll have some more information sooner rather than later. We did get our first submission. Right.
I like those ambitious students that can't wait for the, they just get their work in. That's great. We love it.
And he was early by quite a bit because the deadline is in January. So he was ready. He's ready to go. So, submissions are open. So if you have any artwork or writing, go ahead and give us a...
It's okay to double dip. If you're working on a poem project or some short story project for school, you like it, work with your teacher. If you want to edit it, get it ready and send it in, submit it. Why not? And all those kinds of little things, I think they count at some point, don't they, on a college application or just a life resume, even if you're not doing the college thing right away. Hey, participated in, somehow make reference to it on that you were part of something outside of the school. I think that shows a little bit more about the character of the individual. So there's value on many levels.
Lots of levels, of course.
We're very proud of that program. You mentioned Jessica at the Sutter County Museum. She got us into this thing. We love it. It's a lot of work, but it's the only thing where, as most of you know, we're the official two-county agency or affiliate of the California Arts Council. We cover both Yuba County and Sutter County, the only one in the state. Scholastic Writing Awards, we cover actually 7 counties. Wow. So it was either an all or nothing. We couldn't just take Yuba Sutter the way they have the regions set up. So we cover Yolo, Placer, Nevada, Sierra, maybe Glen and Lake, or Butte, Butte and maybe Lake County. So it's a 7-county region. So we really want to kind of up the ante and get more submissions. It's been growing each year. So we're excited. Maybe the virtual approach will even increase our numbers of submissions. So we're very excited.
It's definitely possible, and that's kind of the challenge right now is how do we reach the students? We can't go into classrooms to see them. So we're going to have to approach this very, very differently.
They got virtual classrooms.
This is true. Mm-hmm.
We can pop on a Zoom just like a student.
Yeah, that's definitely an option we talked about. So I hope that, that can start to happen.
That's a great point, Alex. In fact, you had done in-person pitches. You went in and actually helped promote Poetry Out Loud.
Yes, I have.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
They're still talking about I was going to say, they're still talking about your presentation of Jabberwocky. But speaking of that idea of popping into the classroom, I'm going to switch the order here just a little bit. We've been talking to Matt Demerit at Marysville Charter Academy for the Arts. He put out a call for actors, because he's teaching, I think, mainly theater arts, that could Zoom into his classrooms and talk about their experiences in theater. And so that spawned a whole bunch of other ideas. But so I'm hoping that, to your point, that Shawntay, whoever, will be able to Zoom into classrooms to talk about these programs, that we can get, 15 minutes like we used to get in person in various English classes to talk about Poetry Out Loud and the Writing Awards. So
and the beauty of this idea as well, David, is I know that we have a lot of former winners at the regional level and even national level, don't we? And so this is kind of almost a blessing in disguise in some ways, because maybe we could reach out and they could help us sort of market in the classrooms, because they have experience and perspective that we don't have. So I think
that's brilliant. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we can track down Debbie Andre and a couple of others I still see on Facebook.
Sure.
Dylan Rule. Yeah, there's some others. Oh, great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. We can
Look
help,
at that.
we can do that. I know. Look, we figured that out right here on live on Facebook.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Well, great. And any English teachers out there that are just chomping at the bit, or did the initial email go out announcing the program this year?
It should have, yes.
Yeah, that's right. You had it scheduled on Constant Contact. So hopefully teachers are starting to see the drip of email about this. We'll keep it up and keep you informed. So you want to talk about the live virtual museum tours?
Sure. So nothing completely solid yet on this end, but we have hopefully been talking to some museums. We talked to the Crocker. Pam, I think, put us in contact with the Crocker Museum. And we sent out an email to the DeYoung Museum in San Francisco that is currently showing the Frida Kahlo exhibit. So what we're hoping to do is potentially give a private, more intimate tour of an exhibit from one of these museums and showcase it in virtual land to students. So like I said, still kind of working on details here, still trying to figure it out. But we have a field trip that's planned every single year. David, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this idea came out of, necessity as the mother of invention, if you will, and the necessity to expose children or students to art beyond the classroom to the extent we can. And certainly there's technology in the classroom that can show them canned virtual tours of any museum in the world right now. But our idea is to try to personalize the experience, as Shawntay said. So we're hoping the Crocker is the one we're farthest along with. It's so close, it's sort of, but still they're closed, or they are. I think they're gradually reopening. I know the DeYoung is reopening on a ticketed basis, so very, very spaced entry, so restricted entry. But just as a warm up, I think the Crocker has just tremendous collections and special exhibitions. So, but having a live docent there on the screen, saying hello, welcome is Novak's AP art class. Glad you could join me today. I'm Jane Smith. I'm going to take you on a tour of our Wayne Thiebaud wing. We're going to talk about just a couple of the pieces, why Wayne Thiebaud matters, or something like. I'm making all that up, of course.
Right.
But, that idea, but it's personalized. It's not just a plug and play. Okay, welcome to the Crocker. This is
right.
So we're excited about that. It's going to take some work, and we'll see. We got to maybe look, like you talked earlier, look to LA, look to some other museums that might
maybe international even. Because I have some ideas.
If you can work out the timing,
sure,
zone chart and say how would we align. I mean, they're all hurting, no matter what the business model is, whether it's sponsors and members or all of the above or admissions. They ain't all like the Smithsonian, which is pretty much free to anybody, paid for by us. Right. But for the most part, these museums are private and, privately funded. So the idea that we can contribute to that helps them. I mean, the Crocker just laid off 20 people. Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York just laid off 400. So it's like this is supporting local business in the art world. So yeah, we're going to work hard to get that up and running this fall, and then offer it to any art classes in YubaSutter that want to take advantage of that. So cool. We'll take care of whatever the cost is. So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Have we forgotten anything in the YubaSutter Arts realm? Gosh, I look at my cheat sheet here, and man, we actually talked about all this stuff.
We did indeed. We still have a few more things.
Oh my gosh, both sides of the postcard, front and back.
We've been covering a lot here.
We have.
I just really want to say for a moment how much, like, being on the other side of the country right now and how much you guys are doing and how much you are reaching out and trying to, like, keep things going is truly admirable. Like, and not just admirable, it's amazing what you are doing. Because honestly, like, things around here were shut down and, like, we've reopened a bit, but, like, I honestly don't think I can see any local arts thing doing quite what you guys are doing on this level. Like, as far as I know, everything is still shut down. Like, no one's really trying to do, like, productions or anything like you guys are. So kudos for, like, getting everything up and going here, honestly.
Oh, thank you, Alex. Yeah, I agree. We're perhaps a little bit mad, about the whole thing. Just crazed we're zealots, art zealots or something.
Well, you have to be a little bit mad to get into art. So
true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, we take it very seriously, and one of our goals is to, the community is supportive of many of the things we do. And again, we understand that not everything that we do is for everyone. Not everyone's going to come out for a poetry event, although they ought to try it at least once. Not everybody comes out to even when we're up and running, an actual art gallery opening. but you ought to try it once we get open again. But we try to, cover the gamut and try to find something that'll cover the bases. We talked to Cameo last weekend about trying to get a virtual comedy show going. We had a big success with the actual Tickle My Funny Bone comedy night that we did earlier this year. I never did find out what month it was, but pre-COVID, pre-COVID, and
Yeah.
and it was just wildly popular. So we know there's a huge market here for comedy events. So we're going to maybe try to get something like that going. And I don't know if can we do virtual dance lessons? We were talking about maybe salsa night or waltz night.
Well, let me tell you, for those of you that don't know,
Yes.
I just recently acquired a job where I am now a professional ballroom dance instructor with Arthur Murray Studios here in Boston. So my studio actually was one of the few in the entire world that stayed open during COVID, and they taught virtual lessons. So it is doable, and I can do it for you.
All right.
Yay!
Well, we're going to look at that. So
Exciting.
Stay tuned. I know. Watch what we wish for, because we really have enough going on. But let's. We'll see.
I mean,
I'm sure Abby's cringing as she's listening. Going, oh God, shut up, Reed. We've got enough going.
thing.
Hey, let's talk about this event.
Sure.
This is fun. It's so great to see the acting company coming with some new ideas, new things, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but I think basically the premise is they're looking for local directors and writers to come up with some original material for 2021. Initially, of course, there'll be virtual programs, Zoom type presentations, but with original material. But then once they're open, I think it'll transfer to actual live stage production. So if you have any interest in that, please get a hold of the acting company. I think it's actingcompany.org. They're easy to find. Just search or give us a call at the Arts Council, and we'll get you in touch. So great opportunity if you've fancy yourself a director, a writer, and you got some material you want to submit. Please do so. Great option for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we had great success a few months back with our Any Talent show, but we're partnering with our friend Julian Barkley Brinson from Rise Up Youth Performing Arts, the program he's been running for a couple of years, doing a great job. And we want to, again, give youth an opportunity to showcase their talents. So it's 18 and under, all talents welcome. Whatever you do, whatever you like to do. Again, look us up on Facebook or look it up on the Rise Up website. It's Rise Up YS, as in YubaSutter.org. Get a hold of Julian and just submit a 3-minute video. We'll put it all together. We'll have some prizes for submissions, and should be a lot of fun. So again, something to do in and around your regular schoolwork, your student schoolwork. So showcase what they do. If it's voice or instrumental music or magic, or hey, do a scene, do some Shakespeare, whatever, and have fun with it. And submit a 3-minute video.
Yeah,
good stuff.
That's fun.
Creative Flow Institute. I'm sorry, this is a little hard to read. I couldn't get a clearer copy, but this is an interesting group that I just recently knew about. A woman named Sarah Skinner here in town. Grew up here, big theater background, acting company and other places. And she's created this group just this last year called the Creative Flow Institute. They've got a new space on 4th Street in Marysville. Just starting to build the class schedule. But she's got right now pretty much it's dance and movement, lots of opportunities for, I think, scholarships, very affordable. So if you want to get as adults, you want to get involved, or as young people, look up Creative Flow Institute. Sarah Skinner, you can find her on Facebook, and she's doing a great job building a program there. Had a grand opening last Saturday. So we wish Sarah the very best in her new location. So.
Yeah.
Support the arts.
Gotta love it.
And this is another one of these that I love this, totally kind of out of context art thing. So here are our friends. We didn't know anything about this. We just grabbed it off the internet to share it because we want to support it.
Yeah.
Our friends at the Yuba City Fire Department, they're having their own young artist program contest and calling all school-age artists, pre through sixth, all skill levels, to send in a piece for Fire Prevention Week. Again, it's easy to find on Facebook or I think on our website. So, or call the fire department, get the details there. So, and then they're going to be displaying the pieces, I think, at the main firehouse during Fire Prevention Week, which is October 4th through 10th. So, another opportunity to showcase student work. And again, this is more for the younger students, pre-K through 6. So,
I still draw like that. Can I enter?
good. I like it. Jay,
Wow.
as the Magliazzi brothers used to say on NPR during the car show, we've wasted another perfectly good hour.
Wasted, I think, is a harsh word.
It is. They were being self-deprecating, but so are we.
Right.
So we had a great conversation. Hey, there's nothing to do here in town. Well, there really is nothing to do. But, for those of you with Zoom fatigue or screen fatigue, we feel your pain. But at least be aware there are some actual things going on, like the art contest, and ways for you to stretch your artistic muscles, or those of your children or family members, and some things to participate in to keep that sense of art and culture community going and keeping it alive. So we're working very hard to help do that, support it, induce it. And that's what we have for this evening's show. What else, Alex, Shawntay, any closing comments?
I honestly, seeing all of this all together, it's really amazing and really wild how much is happening this upcoming month. And I suspect November and December are going to be no different. Even more so, probably. So, yeah, I mean, I have to give a lot of credit to David and Abby, because really, I mean, you all are leading us through this and, trying to figure it out yourselves as you're leading us. So, I mean, kudos to both of you.
It's because you two are great enablers. So, it's all your fault.
That's true. Sue and I are pretty good at enabling you too.
Yeah. I just sit over here and come up with the names for the things. So
that's a special skill set. And he's not kidding. Several of these events, he's conjured.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that you can do that.
I tried, alliteration's my game.
I love it.
I had a rhyme for that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, contact information, just keep in touch. How, people say, I didn't know anything about that. And I say, well, do you do Facebook? No. Do you use the internet? No. Do you read the paper? No. How do I reach you? I don't know, So, but if you use Facebook, YubaSutterArts, of course, where you are right now, follow us. YubaSutterArts.org for our website. Call the office. We're in and out, but Sue is often in the office during the day, middle of the day. So we'll certainly get back to you. Our cell phones are listed on the answering machine, so don't be shy. They're there for a reason, to be able to reach us anytime. The main office number is 742-2787. 742-2787. We're on Instagram. What else are we on in terms of social media, Shawntay?
We're also on Twitter.
Twitter, okay.
Yeah, that's the one that once we get back into action here is probably going to get used a little bit more efficiently. But Instagram, we're slowly growing more and more on there. I have some fun stuff planned also for this next month. So check us out there as well.
We're regular contributors to the Appeal Democrat, Territorial Dispatch. We very much appreciate their support. So if you're old school paper reader like me, it's fun to see those articles. And
yeah, David, you didn't mention your article.
Right.
You have
paper mache.
Paper mache.
Of course.
I'm writing on a deadline for tomorrow. I gotta,
Oh, you got to get off here. I see.
Okay.
We were kindly asked by the editor-in-chief, Steve Miller, if we'd be interested in contributing a weekly Friday column, 300 words or less. That's hard.
That's a lot.
Something about art and culture. So let's see. Who came up with that clever name, paper mache?
Who was it?
Alex. That was one of your creations. And it's so funny. You think, why paper mache? And then I looked up the history of paper mache. And it's kind of this mishmash of stuff. It's multicultural. It's historic. It's like perfect. And it created many things, including, decoys of weapons systems during World War I, where they put out these decoys made out of paper mache to fake out the enemy. It's like, wow, this is wild. As well as all those cool arts and crafts projects that we did in school. So
Right.
The glue. And...
right. So
Exactly.
our column is called Paper Mache. It's on page A2 of the Pill Democrat, right there with all the other community calendar of events. And we try to have something interesting to say about something going on in the art and culture world, and then kind of recap some upcoming events for the next week or two. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. We appreciate the challenge and very much appreciate the Appeal Democrat giving us that space. So, well, that's all I've got.
Right.
Yeah. That's been an
Sign
hour.
Alex, Shawntay, always a pleasure. That's it for
Always a
this
pleasure.
week's edition of Artist Alchemy. We'll see you next week when our special guest will be. Hold on. Corey Kirsting.
Oh.
Great musician, music educator, who just showcased an encore performance of Beethoven's Ninth last Saturday night. He also heads up the YubaSutter Symphony. Aren't we lucky to have a symphony here? So wonderful. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.